Bench Opinions. Three idiots with amateur analysis.
Welcome to Bench Opinions. Today we are going to be talking about rugby. If you wanted to tune into the football, then you should tune in yesterday.
The right place.
Yeah. If you wanted to tune into golf, then you should tune in the day before.
You should have tuned in on Sunday night.
Exactly. You should watch the golf live. But you can do all of that. Just go to the playlist and
do it on your own time.
But now it's rugby time. We're going to talk about the URC. We're down to the last 4 matches, the last 4 rounds. And now it's time
to shit or get off the toilet.
The squeaky bum time.
Squeaky bum time, yeah.
Squeaky bum time. See who's actually going to make it into the playoffs. Obviously, us 3 being South African, we would like to see all 4 South African franchises get in. Is it possible? Is it not? Let's discuss.
Yes is the very simple answer. I just need you guys to pull your shit together at the Highveld and win your home games.
So you feel that it's guaranteed the Stormers are making it through to the playoffs?
Don't put words in my mouth, Klaus. I'm very convinced that the Stormers can do it. We're playing Connacht this weekend. There's a few players coming back from injury. I think Schickeling is now rumored to maybe be back.
Good name.
Yeah, great name. Great player as well. And then it's just...
JJ. Could have starred in Inglourious Bastards. There comes Schickeling. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
And the fixtures that we play after playing Connacht at home are winnable, which is not to say that the Stormers aren't also very capable of losing some of those easy games.
Yeah.
Just to name a few, you'll be playing Benetton.
Yeah.
You'll be playing Dragons. Should be a win. Cardiff.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, the Stormers should win all 4 of those. I think Connacht are a good team who I think can challenge us. I don't think Benetton away from home is as dangerous as playing them in Italy.
Yeah.
And the other 2... Oh, actually, Cardiff, you know what? I always... For some reason, I always put Cardiff in like the beatable category, but they're actually...
In the Ospreys category.
Yeah, but they're actually really good.
Cardiff are currently 1 point above you.
Yeah, but how many of their points did they get from losing bonus points? Because I think you and Dom discussed this in one of these.
Yeah.
They've gotten a draw that pushed them up, and they've gotten 1 less bonus point.
Did you see the news coming out of Wales this week?
No.
That Cardiff is essentially gone into administration and the Welsh Rugby Union has taken over?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
So now, essentially...
Fantastic for a rugby podcast not to know that.
I did, so let me enlighten you. No.
This wasn't come out on the 1st of April.
No, this wasn't the 1st of April. So the Welsh Rugby Union are going to be essentially taking over the affairs of Cardiff Rugby.
Okay.
Because the club can't sustain itself, etc., etc. And also the first naysayers being like, oh, well, now they're turning themselves just like into Ireland and Leinster. You know, like having, like they'll be able to then access all the big Welsh teams, which has worked for Ireland.
It has worked for Ireland.
So, and Leinster. So, that was some interesting news coming out this week.
You'd have to wonder if that wouldn't be maybe the route that Wales should go down, regardless, just because, well, who else do they have? They've got...
What's the population of Wales?
I think it's 2.5 million or something.
I'll have a look.
It's not a lot.
No. So it's significantly smaller than Ireland then, because Ireland, I think, is like 4 million, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they've got 4 franchises is also pretty wild.
Yeah, it seems a bit much.
It is wild. Of course, now it doesn't tell you the population unless you add. Okay. And now I can tell you what the capital is. Right. Okay. In mid-23, population was at 3.1 million.
Okay, so a bit more than I predicted. I said 2.5.
Let me go Ireland.
Ballpark.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you that they have too many
franchises
playing, because I think it unnecessarily dilutes the talent pool.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many Smiths and Joneses, bro.
Jones.
5.3 is Ireland, so it's considerably bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that is the way to go. The only problem with that being is the Welsh Union doesn't manage itself very well.
But what's the vibe? Sorry, this is just a sidetrack. What's the vibe though with the Northern Irish contingency of Ireland? Because Ulster's in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So obviously Northern Ireland has its own population as well. So that's a few more people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they all get run under the same.
They all play for the RFU.
Yeah, but if you look at the population of Ireland, it's probably the Republic.
Yeah. Oh, true.
So how
Sorry.
many people are still in Northern
yes.
Ireland is what
So,
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it would make it even more.
So even more than 5.
you're probably looking at least double, if not 3 times larger than Wales,
Okay.
population size.
Because
I was going to say Northern Ireland is not that much bigger than
No.
the Republic.
Okay, so back to the Stormers.
I was going to say we're not a geography podcast.
We could be though.
yeah.
I used to be sneakily good at knowing capital cities of countries.
I don't think that's what people tune into YouTube
There was
for.
there was an internship that I did once where I had absolutely fuck all to do, and all I would do was play Sporkle quizzes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where you'd have to, like, they'd tell you where countries and you'd have to go on a map and pick it out, or like they'd
I
give
remember
you
those on
country,
Facebook.
Yeah, and
I remember those.
And then I'd just go on the website and I'd just do quizzes the whole day until like someone asked me to go like
Make a coffee.
make a coffee or like restock the milk or something.
Could you make a copy of this, please?
So
Okay, Stormers.
Stormers. I think Stormers are going to get into the top 8 just because of the run of fixtures that they have left, and they are sort of coming into, if you can call it, form, but they're not. The problem with the Stormers, in my opinion, is they're going to get into the top 8, and I think then we're going to exit very quickly.
The plight of all the South African teams, I think, with the Bulls and Sharks being maybe on a little bit of a different sort of, is just not knowing what team's going to turn up.
Yeah.
Because for all look, I think it's something that's happened a lot across the URC anyway. There's been a lot of shock results.
There has
and
been.
Benetton can sometimes be world beaters and sometimes be absolute dog shit. And the same can be said for someone like Connacht as well, because on paper you're thinking, you got your Bundy Akis and whatever running onto the field.
Even like Glasgow.
Yeah, but there's some weeks where they just completely shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the Sharks and the Bulls, you're saying whether they can win the tournament or not is whether they show up or not. But that's what makes it so hard to predict this, because I think the Stormers also, they look really good much better with Sasha back.
Yeah.
He looks like he's come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So those are good signs. But yeah, the run of fixtures are so good.
Yeah.
So I was looking at last year's table, and then I was kind of like thumbsuck crunching some numbers here, and I think stealing it from golf, the projected cutoff line is probably going to be around like 45 points.
Yes.
Last year it was at 50, but you didn't have as many teams in the lower part of the table actually competing quite evenly. So I reckon it will be around about 40, 44. Currently, the Stormers are sitting at 35.
Okay.
That means 2 bonus try wins,
Bonus point victories.
point victories, and they've got the thing sealed, if my numbers are even correct. I could be completely wrong.
You had a whole football segment to sit there and crunch your numbers, Bernie Madoff. So you better have gotten this right.
In stark comparison, the Lions are 5 points behind the Stormers.
With a game in hand.
No,
Oh, is this
nobody's
all-
got a game in
did we
hand.
caught up?
Everybody's got 4
Okay.
games left in the season.
Can you run me through your fixtures?
Our fixtures are Benetton, Connacht,
Okay.
Cardiff.
no, not Cardiff, Connacht, what was it? Blah, blah, blah. Scarlets,
Okay.
and the last one was Ospreys.
So you need
that's
3. You need 3 bonus point victories.
That's
need
arguably a better.
From 4 games, we need 3 bonus point
That's
victories.
arguably a better run in than the Stormers.
It is.
Not arguably, it is, because
Well,
you've got
just because we don't play Cardiff.
currently Cardiff is higher ranked than
Yes.
That's what I mean.
than Benetton.
Yes.
So, and they play Cardiff. We
That's
don't.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The Lions run-in is
so
better
the
than the
Lions
Stormers.
run-in is easier with you playing the Ospreys
right.
and Scarlets.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Oh,
works
no,
for
sorry. Benetton is higher than Cardiff.
Oh.
So for us, it's more difficult
Okay.
Okay,
statistically.
but they also play Benetton.
I think let's get back to who's been really good at home. And in my opinion, the Lions.
They also play Benetton.
Nothing wrong.
So what we said is correct. The Lions run-in is. I would prefer that run-in to the Stormers run-in by a smidgen.
Yeah. And I
The
think
Stormers play the Dragons, and they dog shit. What? Oh, am I interrupting you? I'm sorry that you do that to me all the time. You little softy.
I just don't know if we have the fixtures the way we want them to. Do we know the fixtures?
Yes,
Yes.
we have them now.
We've got the
I
fixtures.
think the Lions are more dangerous at home than the Stormers are. I think the Lions this year, especially start of the season, I don't know if it continued that much, but when the Lions rock up at home, they rock up. And
Right.
I don't know if it's the Highveld, if it's players can't get any air, or if it's just your team being so at home and at being comfortable at home, that it's just easier for them to
not
beat.
playing in front of anyone, so you don't have to be nervous.
Yeah, not traveling.
There's about 14 guys in the stadium cheering you on.
The cameras just don't show the other 10 guys, okay?
So I think that works in your favor. It is. Listen, if you're a Lions player, that's do or die time. Now it's time to put up or shut up. It's in your favor. Now you've got to get it over the line.
Particularly with the start as well to the season, they came out the box so hot to then, I think they'll be really, really kicking themselves if they don't give themselves at least a good, a proper shout, because 3 out of 4 is not easy.
It's not easy in the
but
URC.
That stretch of you come on.
Yeah.
The Ospreys and surely.
The danger, obviously, is that you have another team. This is what happened to the Lions last year. You have a team that's there or thereabouts, maybe even below them currently, and they outperform the Lions. They go and they score 5 points in all 4 of their remaining fixtures and actually leapfrog them.
I think for both listed fixtures, for Stormers and Lions, that can be said for Benetton and Connacht.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's those,
absolutely.
and they're right in the mix, and they can turn up on their day, and I think that's the fear.
And like Cardiff are in it. Scarlets are there or thereabout.
Scarlets are currently 2 points behind you, 3 points ahead of us.
So you're right. I mean, the same Scarlets will look at the fixture against the Lions and say, yes, thank God we're playing the Lions because we can beat them. Thank God we're not playing Leinster, Glasgow, the Sharks. Maybe they are. But it goes both ways. So in my opinion, as a South African, I think the Stormers and Lions are going to make it.
Well,
I think both will, which is really putting my reputation, which nobody gives a shit about, on the line.
I'm not so confident about the Lions.
Okay.
But you think the Stormers should make it?
Judging by the fixtures and judging by the fact that they need 2 wins out of those fixtures, I think they can get them.
Yeah.
A very interesting thing is that the Scarlets, Ospreys, and Connacht are the teams that are in between the Stormers and the Lions, and we are both playing a certain amount of them. Even the likes of the Sharks are playing against some of those teams.
Yeah.
So we as the Lions really need hope that all the other South African franchises really show up to give ourselves the best opportunity.
For sure.
Of
And
getting
I
through.
mean, listen, we spoke about it last week or the week before. If you need anything from the Sharks, you might as well throw that shit out of the window because they aren't doing anything for you at all.
Unfortunately not.
No. I am starting to grow very
Disillusioned.
discontent with the Sharks. I think we spoke about it enough last week, but the Sharks, in my opinion, aren't going to do anything in this tournament.
No.
I think they're going to come up against a likes of a Glasgow. I think will outperform them. I don't think the Bulls and Leinster are their enemy, their target. I think Bulls and Leinster are now favorites, and I only say that because Glasgow got so
Whipped.
thoroughly thumped by Leinster in the Champions Cup that I don't consider them title contenders. I only think the Bulls and Leinster are. So my hope is that one of the South African teams gets to a final again, because that alone is a very good accomplishment in this tournament. And then I think it should be in everyone's interest other than Leinster that we, as a URC, prevent them from winning a title.
As a URC,
Because I think it gets a bit old, the Leinster dominance. And it's even funnier when they dominate and they don't win.
Having said that, though, they've never won it.
They've
right?
never won the URC, no.
They've never won the URC, and they also don't win the Champions Cup, but they are so dominant that...
This is a pattern, though, in Irish rugby.
Here we go again.
Oh my God, Dom.
Let the shitstorm unfold.
That's not what I said.
Well, I just identified it. I'm a good observer,
Do you think Leinster is going to win the Champions Cup? Do you think they will beat the likes of a Toulouse, who is also
so tough.
arguably one of the best teams in the world?
I think, judging by my predictions in the game that we play on the Champions Cup, I don't know who's going to win that tournament because
It's all over the place.
Yeah, and I also don't know the real strength of the European teams enough. I don't know how good a Northampton Saints is on their day. I just look at the score and I'm like, these guys are pretty impressive. Bordeaux, Toulouse, Leinster, that all, just because we don't play against them that regularly, I can't judge them. But in my opinion, Leinster's the favourites. But
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. If, in my opinion, Toulouse is the favourites.
Okay.
So,
it's Toulouse's Toulouse.
it's Toulouse. Either way, Leinster's still in this competition in the URC.
Yeah.
Currently, the inform.
Yeah, let's be
team.
honest. They're gonna fucking win it. Let's be honest.
The URC.
Yeah, they're gonna win the URC
Well, the Bulls can beat them,
The
dude.
Bulls can beat them.
in Dublin.
No.
No, okay,
So thank you.
that's the problem. But maybe
Maybe if all of South Africa pitches in to get them premium economy instead of economy, the Bulls, and you just sort of kidnap Jake White for a week so he can't field a weakened team in a URC final because he doesn't believe.
Or get him laid or something. So he just fucking has a bit of
A
something
little
about
bit
him.
more like positivity about him.
Yes, he grovels, eh?
Yeah.
My God.
the year that Leinster looked like they were going to win, they lost to Munster.
Didn't they also lose to the Bulls in a final once? Or was that a semi-final?
That would have been a semi-final because
Okay.
the Bulls have not won the URC either.
Okay.
The Stormers have won,
Stormers have
True.
won. That's it.
Munster have won, and
Yeah.
Glasgow have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bulls beat them in the first URC semi-final that
Right.
the South African teams were in.
But I did say, watch the Bulls.
You did say.
and
Multiple
here we
times,
are.
actually.
Oh yeah, that was one of your revolutionary
Exactly.
predictions.
One of my, very deep thoughts.
Right. So but that just goes to show we actually don't know what we're talking about.
So rugby's in a bit of a weird thing right now where we spoke about it when the Six Nations was on. This is, I think, a really clear example of World Rugby needing to sort out its calendar, because you go through it feels like rugby goes the entire year. You know, you
It
just
does.
yeah.
That
you
is
go from
one of the big problems currently.
you go from the Autumn Nations series to watching URC in December, which I find quite enjoyable, to then watching Six Nations. Then you're watching Champions Cup and Challenge Cup, and there's URC on again. Then your July tests come, and you just sort of, there's no fan in the world who will pay attention for 12 months. You dip in and out of consciousness.
I think my big gripe with it is that you have these interruptions for what feels like a month or two of a competition that's like split up. And then you kind of just lose interest and you get a little bit confused because all these same teams are competing in the next competition, which is obviously something that you guys would be used to in football. But correct me if I'm wrong, does football do the competitions not sort of just overlap?
They do
Instead
to
of
a
get,
certain
like,
extent, but
fractioned.
you get like international breaks, and then suddenly there's an FA Cup fixture. So you do have a similar sort of thing, but not to, it seems like, as large an extent. But you always know that something is going on too long when Dom loses interest in the fantasy game, which he has now started to do, which has given me a bit of a chance there.
I think
to
that's
catch
just
up.
performance based.
No. I think if I remember correctly, I think I played fantasy football with Dom once as well, and he sort of loses interest in that by like mid-Feb. Because
very passionate and excited about it, and even if I'm like eventually like I just particularly when the weather gets nice and stuff, I don't care anymore. It's a nice thing to occupy me when it's dark and I can't go outside, but I can go outside.
But then
now.
the excitement builds before the next season just as highly,
and then
he's
I
back.
join again. Yeah, it's the same way I join the football NFL fantasy every year with all the Canadians and Americans, and essentially it's like throwing 40 euros to the dogs because I have no fucking chance. And
And to a certain extent, that is a characteristic. No.
Character trait?
Character trait that we should marvel and appreciate, because not many people run against the glass door that often and then just take the same run up and do it again.
Exactly. Yeah. And I have run against glass doors before. Fucking hurts.
And balls.
And balls, yeah. Probably would do it again though. So
On that bombshell,
yeah.
thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we shall see you tomorrow.
Yes, we shall.
We shall.
Toodles.